Okay guys, so whilst you have a watch of what Red's up to, I'm going to be talking about why your snake might not be eating and what you can do about it. So let's get straight into it. So before I talk about what you should do, it's important that you understand why a snake might not be feeding. So the main reasons are that 1. The snake isn't hungry. 2. The food is incorrect. 3. The snake is ill. 4. It's breeding season. And 5. It's being kept incorrectly. So what can you do about each of these things? It's quite common for people to feed snakes too often because they don't realise that snakes actually only eat every now and again. So if your snake isn't eating, the first thing that you can try doing is offering food a bit less often, like every week or every 2 weeks, depending on the species, which is quite a common fix and it does actually work a lot of the time. Another reason why they might be off food is that the food is the wrong type. So, for example, hognose snakes, I know in the wild tend to eat frogs and toads and stuff. So if it won't eat mice, if you can get a hold of them, it might be better to start feeding it amphibians or something. Obviously frozen and not wild caught where possible. And another reason might just be that the food is the wrong size. So my corn snake last year went off feed and then he came back on feed again when I started offering him a smaller meal. It can be very hard to tell when a snake is ill because as small creatures they do tend to hide sickness very well. So if you notice anything like they go off feed and you can't really find out why, just take them to the vet just to make sure they're not ill, and make sure it's a specialist vet. This goes for any small pet really, or any pet at all. If you think it's ill, take it to the vet and get instructions from there. Some species of snake in the summertime and warmer months, depending on where you live, will go off the food in the breeding season. This happens with my corn snake every year pretty much. It tends to occur in male snakes, although for some species this might be different. And it basically just manifests as they stop eating and they go round and round and round the cage all day, all night, just looking for a mate. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it really. So you've just got to keep your fingers crossed that they'll eat, offer every now and again, and if they do eat then great, and if they don't, there's nothing really bad about it. As long as they're maintaining weight then that's okay. Although it's important that you recognise when the snake's ill and when it's in breeding season. Finally, if conditions are poor, for example if it's too cold in the hot spot, then the appetite of a snake will quickly just fall away. Always make sure that your snake can thermoregulate, they have a hot end and a cold end. Ensure that the cage is big enough. Now some people are going to say, big enough, don't you mean small enough? No, I don't believe that snakes go off feed when they're being kept in too big cages because the wild isn't too big. I'm going to talk about this in a future video. But if the cage is big enough and they have enough decorations in there, then they're going to be mentally stimulated and they'll probably be hungrier. So yeah, just things like that. Make sure that they're all correct. So I hope that you found the information in this video useful and that you can use it. And then if your snake's off feed, I hope that it comes back on soon. Always remember that snakes can be fairly picky, so don't worry about it too much as long as the snake's not sick. And I hope that you did enjoy the video and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.